behaviors if you don't have no new information. Yes, 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 yes. We are live. We are live. Welcome to my YT family. Welcome to my TikTok family. Welcome to my FB family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is All Things Self Mastery podcast and show where I teach you all that you need to know to put yourself in a position so you can finally live the life you desire by attracting what and who you desire. But first, there are prerequisites, right? And so we're going to be getting into it. I'm going to be sharing with you 11 steps to help you get off the hamster wheel. Why? Because if you're still on a hamster wheel, baby, you ain't going nowhere, nowhere where you want to be. So after this brief intermission, we are going to get into it. Transparency. Thank you so much for being transparent. Oh, we are back. We are back. The intermission is done. We are getting into 11 steps to get you off the hamster wheel. How many? I'm sure many of us have heard what's the hamster wheel, and a lot of you don't even know you on that hamster wheel, right? Either you don't know you're on a hamster wheel, or you've become so comfortable running in the same place over and over again, eating the same pebbles, massa feeds you over and over and over and over again, week after week, month after month, year after year. So I raise my hand. Angela, thank you so much for being honest, right? I appreciate it because the first thing and having and gaining, right, a new mindset is to realize that you don't want to be where you want to be, where you don't want to be, you don't want to be where you no longer, pardon me, getting tongue twisted, you no longer want to be where you are. And the very first thing we have to do is be transparently honest with ourselves, right? What good is it that? What good does it do for us to keep on lying to ourselves, for us to keep on acting like we're not standing in a position that we no longer want to be, that we're not in a career or a job that we no longer want to be in, that is no longer serving us? Or you may be in a relationship that you don't want to be in. You have become, some of us, many of us, I'm being polite by saying some of us have become so content with where we are in our unhappy place. Bullet, thank you so much for the support follow, right? That we're kind of comfortable and we got used to it, right? But one thing I do know is that there are so many of us that want more. There are so many of us that want better, right? Even if you are in a position where, let's say, you are happy, right? It is not wrong, even though wrong or right is subjective. It is not wrong to want to improve. It is not wrong to want more. It is not wrong to want the many things that we want: a new career, a new home, a new house, a new relationship, infinite gratitude, love, new partnerships, right? So as you come in, I want to make sure that you are, well, that you know that you're welcome here. Gorgeous, infinite gratitude for the gifts. This doesn't work by a dictator. I'm not a dictator, right? I am you, you are me, we are us, and together we are powerful, divided we are powerless. And so I love and invite you to engage with me. This is how we learn. This is another way that we can raise the frequency. So by all means, please make sure you stop in and at least say, hey, love, hey, how you doing? It don't hurt. Make sure you are subscribed to support the channel, support something positive, support positive information, right? Make sure you are following, supporting by following, and across all platforms, all things self-mastery. Tim Dolo, how are you, my love? Right? So how many you Angel, thank you so much for the support follow. I appreciate you, right? And so many of you, let's start here. Let's start here before we get into the 11 steps. to getting off the hamster wheel. Let me take a moment and introduce myself because I see a lot of familiar faces and names. And I also thank you so much for sharing the live. Infinite gratitude. I see a lot of new supporters and family members. Hi, Jay. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, my heartbeat. Infinite gratitude. So let me start off by introducing myself. My name is Venus. I go by the name of Venus the Goddess, but my name is Venus. I am a self mastery mentor, right? And what that means is I teach individuals that what's the psychology behind why you do what you do, right? So you can change it, right? I teach you the psychology, right? And how to position yourself to get into alignment to attract what and who you desire. And I've been studying for 15 plus years. I am also a veteran of 5 years, 12-month tour in Afghanistan. I have extensive amounts of education, not only external education. I'm a life student of education. I studied and am still studying psychology, chemistry. Some of the areas also include quantum physics, genetics, epigenetics, spirituality, our story, right? I study things like that. I study frequency. Also, I can teach you the same mastery tips that some of which I'll be sharing with you this evening. For those of you who are now being introduced to me, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you decided to join me. I'm so glad that you understand that you're not here just by luck or just by happenstance. You are not here. Nothing happens by luck, happenstance, or coincidence. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we can put ourselves in a position, right? The sooner we can become more aware of not only what's happening externally, but what's happening internally. Because nothing happens externally before it happens internally, right? And how many of you I'll just say this. I see so many broken people, right? And I want to make sure I kind of, calm down because I could get pretty excited because I love teaching. For those of you who love teaching, love information, love books, right? Just love learning so we can elevate ourselves. For those of you who love self development, there are so many men, women, even the younger people these days who are at their wits' end, who are ready to give up. So many of us are broken. So many of us are stuck on a hamster wheel. So many of us are stuck in this cycle of dysfunction and disparity. So many of us are hopeless. So many of us are continuing having discussions talking about the same things over and over. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with influencing, there's nothing wrong with gaining new information. However, do know that what you consume, you become. So I'm here to give you 11 steps that is going to help you get off the hamster wheel. And these teachings are based on my last book that I published. I am also a best-selling self-published author. Right. This is my last book that I've published, Attracting What and Who You Desire. And so these steps are in the ebook that I'm going to be teaching from that can if it worked for me and worked for the hundreds of clients, not clients, I don't like calling them that, but mentees, right? Those who have trusted me, those who have sat under me and have gained a repertoire with me, right? Who grown a relationship with me. For all of those men and women who it have worked for, if you apply the work, it can work for you too. With so many of us at a disadvantage, with so many of us in the unknown, with so many of us who are bombarded with loads of information, with so many influences all around us. So I absolutely get it why some of us are ignorant to many degrees. I absolutely get it why many of us are overwhelmed, why many of us are depressed, why many of us are lonely, why many of us are still bound to emotional addictions. Last Saturday the class was on breaking free from emotional bonds. If you wasn't here for that live master lesson, make sure you go and check it out on my YT channel. It's also on my FB channel, All Things Self Mastery. Why is this important? That's the question. Why is this important? It is important because Until you understand certain fundamental principles, nothing in your life is going to change. Until you understand fundamental principles regarding psychology, regarding chemistry, regarding spirituality, regarding your essence, regarding frequency and energy, which all of those things I mentioned have everything to do with you. So when it comes to you having a deeper understanding as to why you are still on the hamster wheel going nowhere fast or backwards instead of forward, these are the principles that you need to understand, overstand, outerstand, understand. And the very fact that the reality, the receipts of our reality don't lie, lets me know that there are too many of us who do not understand these fundamental principles that I'm going to be teaching. Do we want to be entertained? Absolutely. Absolutely. We want to be entertained. And for those of you who may not know, I am streaming on across the platforms. This is a presentation. So if you want to, Mustafa, how are you, love? Peace, peace, my love. So if you want to see the presentation I have prepared for you, you're more than welcome to hop over there. That way you can get the subliminals and the imagery as well as me verbally teaching you what I'm teaching you so it can more so, right? Embed the new information. This is a part of infinite gratitude, right? And so when it comes to understanding how to get off the hamster wheel, when it comes to you really get into the core of things, and that's what's required, right? So when we talk about doing it in a work, when we talking about, spiritual work, when we talk about actually isolating yourself, right? What are we doing in our isolation? Rhetorical question, because I know that many of us are not doing what is going to be more beneficial and of help. So these 11 keys that I'm going to teach you can absolutely change your trajectory of your life. I need to move this over a little bit because it's in the way of my presentation. Okay. So, do you know what drives your behaviors? Put a one in the comment section, or just put it in the comment section. What are some of the things that drive your behaviors? Because it's one thing to think a thing. It's another thing to speak a thing, an entirely different thing to actually become something, right? Or to be or transformed by something, right? And a lot of us are doing this respectfully. A lot of us are doing this, and a lot of us do not really understand what we're talking about, right? But how many of you know that no one is excluded from universal principles and laws? Not me, not you, not no one, right? And our ignorance is one of the things that's keeping us running on that hamster wheel. Our lack of wise decision making is one of them things that's keeping us on the hamster wheel. How many of you want to get off the hamster wheel? Aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired of? Aren't you exhausted with being overwhelmed? Aren't you exhausted with living the same type of mediocre life? Respectfully said. How many of you had enough with it? How many of you are tired of your life operating with this ping pong effect? 1 minute you're good, 1 minute you're not, 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down, right? And it's not this steadiness. It's not a calmness. It's not an upward progression, but a downward digression, right? Appreciate you, love, right? And we have to realize that there are certain steps and elements that we're missing. Make sure you're tapping the screen. Let's let the algorithm know. Let's let more people know that hey, we're here. And this is an informative live. At some point, you have to make the decision to sit down and and ask yourself some very tough questions. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want a different life? Pardon me. How bad do you want a different life? How bad do you want the husband or wife you're saying you want? How bad do you want more wealth? How bad do you want more freedom and liberty to do what you desire to do instead of continually doing whatever you don't desire to do? right? And so, this very first chapter, I'm going to be speaking a little bit about making the decision. The very first thing you need to understand in getting off the hamster wheel is deciding that you want to get off the hamster wheel, not just speaking about it, all while doing the same things over and over again. You saying you want to get off the hamster wheel, yet you're going to the same job that brings you misery. You saying you want to get off the hamster wheel, yet you're engaging in toxic conversations every day. You're saying you want to get off the hamster wheel, but you're procrastinating with your self development. You're saying you want to get off the hamster wheel, yet you are not taking control and responsibility and accountability for your finances. You're saying you want to get off the hamster wheel, yet you don't have the information you need to create a new blueprint. You're saying you want to get off the hamster wheel, yet you really don't understand what's driving your behaviors. So the very first thing and getting the very first step and getting off the hamster wheel is that not only deciding that you want to get off the hamster wheel, that it's time for you to get off the hamster wheel, that you deserve to get off the hamster wheel. Is knowing you deserve to get off the hamster wheel, because many of us say we want change. Many of us say and speak we want all of these beautiful things and beautiful people in our lives that you so deserve. Well, most of us anyway, right? Yet we're not really understanding that we deserve to. It's one thing to believe something, but belief is not what's going to get you off of that hamster wheel. You have to move from belief to knowing. Belief is the absence of knowing. And when I teach you about universal principles and laws, this is what I mean. Whether you understand things that I'm teaching you and some of the and other people that are teaching you some of the very same things in purity and righteousness without unjustly manipulating you or wanting your bag or wanting your hard-earned income. One of those things is to realize if you do not understand universal laws and principles, some of which I'm going to mention, you're going to remain on that hamster wheel and you're going to continually self destruct. You are. This is why the law of attraction isn't working for many of us. It's not that it don't work. It's not that the law of attraction don't work. It's not that the law of assumption don't work. It's not that the law of magnetism don't work. It's not that. It's that you don't have the information to work it so it can work for you instead of a quote unquote against you. Making a decision, the very first step in recreating or attracting or manifesting the life that you want, the reality that you want, is deciding that you deserve it. Many of us outwardly speak that we want, we want, we want. But then when you do, when you really get to the core of it, right? When you start speaking to an expert, when you start speaking to an expert therapist, you begin to learn that your subconscious thought, your subconscious database is in direct contradiction of your conscious database. And that's something that we do not understand yet, know how to internalize. Your subconscious database, your motherboard, your mental database lies beneath the tip of the iceberg. So when it comes to gaining a deep understanding as to why things are not changing, that's the reason. And you cannot get to it. You cannot reprogram if you do not understand how to reprogram. You have to become a programmer. It doesn't work the opposite way. And how many times do we have to learn the hard way in order for us to get it? You can't speak your way into a new reality. You cannot speak your way into a loving, healthy relationship. You cannot speak your way into a new career. You cannot just speak your way into these things. You can speak affirmations until you turn blue, and nothing is going to change. Why? Because those soldiers, your mental database, the one that you have been programming and feeding all of these years, is so strong and so powerful. And you think you're just going to tear them down, knock them down just by your words. Your words are hollow and empty if you have no power, if you don't have yet an understanding of why. So why is this so important? Because you want better. You want better. You deserve better. It's just many of us don't know how to get there. And this is what I'm showing you. This is what I'm teaching you. This is what I teach the ladies in my Rise of a Goddess virtual mentorship program. However, know that it requires something of you. Let me share something with you. This is an indisputable, probably an undesirable truth that I'm about to share with you. Let's continually tap the screen. Thank you so much for those of you who are sharing your love fingers with me. I want to share something with you that's an indisputable fact. And don't just take my word for it. Do the research for yourself beyond Google. Beyond Google, right? What you feed will gain power, and what you starve will lose its power. It does not matter if you know what you're feeding. It does not matter if you're indirectly feeding. It will still gain power and grow in power, because there is always a transfer and a transmutation of energy. We're always feeding something. What are you feeding, and who are you feeding? Just take a look at the way your reality is. Just take a look at that. Look at the people you are around, right? Um, Kasha, Google is an information resource. It's an informative research, right? So it's not that it's a part of keeping someone on the hamster wheel, right? Because no matter what information is all around you, what matters is that you learn you learn how to use your intuition. You learning how to use your intelligence and your wisdom. Google is a profound resource, right? And so when you understand the principle of duality, the principle of polarity, there will never be one without the other. So instead of fighting it, just accept it and learn how to use it instead of it using you. No one forces you to chew food that you do not like. You have the choice to spit it out. So if you're searching something on Google and it doesn't set well with your spirit, once you learn how to decipher things that is not healthy for you, not beneficial to you, that is poisonous to you, outside of you having an emotional reaction to it, or you automatically repelling it because you do not yet understand what it is, that's the key. That's the key. Oh, listen, honey. So this is what we're not gonna do. Let me help you out, honey. Let me help you out. You can just go somewhere, go about your business. Okay? Right? So back to the 11 steps to getting off the hamster wheel. Everything starts and continues in the mind. And you hear a lot of people talking about mental health. You hear a lot of people talking about mental health. Mental health, mental awareness. However, what's changing? What's changing? What's remaining the same? Is the information you're consuming around mental health, is it helping you? Is it helping you? Now keep in mind there are variables. Many variables. Keep in mind that there are exceptions. However, with all the conversations that we're having, right? Regarding mental health. Do you think you continually repeating the stories is helping you? Do you continually think that you just remaining on the surface is helping you gain a deeper understanding of these things? Do you think that you having repetitive arguments with other people is helping you? Right? To infinite gratitude. How can I delete this? How can I delete this message? I do not, baby. Return block to, how do I, baby, I don't know how to do this. Okay. Is it helping you? Is it helping you get off the hamster wheel? It isn't. It isn't. And many of you have, and many of you know that I speak the truth, right? Respectfully and sincerely, because many of you are the ones having these conversations. Do you really want to change things, or you just want to keep repeating the same stories, not knowing the same stories you continually repeat are the same stories you continually live? Let me say that again. The stories you continually repeat are the stories you continually live. Why is that? Because you're feeding it, and what you feed is going to constantly grow. Not only that, you're going to constantly be a magnet for all of what you continually experience, for all the things you no longer want to experience. The more you keep sharing your traumas, speaking it out loud, the more you feed it. The more you keep sharing your disappointments and your dislikes, the more it's going to grow. You're indirectly feeding it. The best thing you can do is make the decision that you no longer want to feed what no longer serves you. The minute you make a decision that you want to stop feeding people in places that no longer is serving you, right? The minute that's the minute and the moment that is going to and should encourage you to get the information. You're not growing and things are not changing because you do not have the information. And if you do have it, you don't really understand the processes of how to apply it. What good is it that you read all the books in the world if you don't understand, if you don't comprehend what it's saying, and if you are never taught how to apply it? What do they say? Faith without works is dead. You could keep saying all you need is the faith of a mustard seed. No, baby. All you need to do is know and accept the fact that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. What you're doing isn't working. You don't need the faith of a mustard seed, baby. You need to make a decision and hold yourself accountable for taking one step after the other towards changing it, towards getting off the hamster wheel. How long are you gonna keep on laying your cares at the altar? How long are you gonna keep putting your life in the hands of other people? How long are you gonna keep making excuses, justifications, rhyme or reasons as to why your life is the way it is? How long are you gonna keep repeating the same stories? How long are you gonna keep doing that? How long do you want to keep justifying where you don't want to be, making excuses? How long? Make the decision. Make the decision to gain the information that you need. How did you learn how to walk? How did you learn how to talk? How did you learn how to tie your shoes? How did you learn how to dance? How did you learn how to speak? How did you learn how to receive? How did you learn how to make love? How did you learn anything that you've learned? How did you learn how to learn? You were taught these things. And a lot of those things we were taught did not serve us from the beginning. But now, in this day and time, this wonderful space and time and age, there is no excuse as to why you have not learned that, hey, maybe that's not working for me anymore. Perhaps I need to learn something different. Perhaps I need to not continually be insane by doing the same things over and over again, thinking that things are going to change. Do you want to be insane? Do you like being called insane? Do you like repeating the same behaviors over and over again? Do you like being unhappy outside of A lot of the emotions that we're feeling are addictions and bonds, right? Outside of that, right? Making the decision. One of the main reasons why our desires aren't coming to fruition is because we speak what we want, but we doubt that we deserve it. Infinite gratitude, Uma. Infinite gratitude for sharing alive. Let's continually tap the screen, my loves. Let me say that again. One of the main reasons why our desires aren't coming to fruition is because we speak what we want. We know what we want, right? However, inwardly, the frequency and the vibration of your heart, the dominant programs that lies underneath the iceberg, the thing that drives your behaviors, you don't think you deserve it, right? Let's be transparently honest with ourselves. Many of us say we want a good wife, we want a good husband, we want a loyal wife or a loyal husband. We want someone that is honorable, that have integrity, that understands, that fully accepts themselves, right? That knows that they want to grow and that care about their self-development. We want someone that is desirable, one who would desire us, right? Our partner. And this beautiful is beautiful, right? But deep inside, we don't feel that we're deserving of it. Many of us want to become more wealthy. We want more money, but so many of us inwardly feel we're undeserving of it. Why? Because you cannot fully understand how to grasp something, how to become and vibrate on something if you've never experienced it. Your every behavior, your every behavior, your every thought is deeply influenced by your past experiences. So if you're wondering why, you keep asking a question, why don't they love? I just want love. Why don't it's just simple. You should know how to love. You should know how to respect. You should know how to honor. This is why gaining a deeper and a higher level of perspective helps. How can that young man ever love you in a pure, unadulterated, genuine way if that young man never knew, never experienced what that love is? And in our mature age, some women, we say we want these things and we watch all of these fairy tale movies, right? We can see what it is, but we don't have the experience. You cannot give what is not within you to give. You cannot. And many of us lack that understanding, right? Many of us are focusing on finding him or finding her, and you haven't even found yourself. You haven't found yourself. So, guess what? You will never find yourself. You would never find the reflection of the self that desires the beautiful things that you desire because you haven't fully found yourself with. So this keeps us on that hamster wheel of attracting unhealthy men and women in our life, not only on a romantic level, but strictly on a platonic level, the friends, the co-workers, the family, right? The business partners. Because you haven't first paid attention to the very first relationship that matters above all relationships, the relationship that you have with yourself, right? Making the decision, understanding what is the core, the catalyst, and the drive for your behaviors, understanding that it simply Is not enough for you to just speak affirmations. It's not the way it works, my love. And I cannot stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough. Know what's not working. Know what's not working. Be honest with yourself, transparently honest with yourself. You cannot keep speaking, thinking you can keep speaking goodness and pleasures and just keep speaking. You can speak affirmations till you turn blue. It's not going to move. Why? Because those new affirmations aren't strong enough to draw in that which you want, who you want. It isn't strong enough because the old programs are still too powerful. The old programs are still too powerful. The program that you've accepted long ago, that you're undeserving, that you are less than, that you are not qualified, that you are not beautiful, that you are not worthy, that you are not secure. Those programs are still too powerful, which is why you keep attracting them, which is why you keep attracting it, which is why you're still on that hamster wheel. Please, for the love of all things pure and beautiful, take a moment to assess where you are. Take a moment to assess where you are. You didn't come to this realm to be depressed all day, every day, or most of the day. You did not come to this realm to be in constant fear. You didn't come to this realm to be living scarcity. You didn't come into this realm to vibrate at to have a frequency of such low vitality. You did not come into this world so people can master your every thought, your every move, your every decision. That's what you did not come here for. In order for you to get off the hamster wheel, and that hamster wheel is very specific to each of us, because some of us are running on the hamster wheel of hopelessness. Some of us are running on a hamster wheel of loneliness. Some of us are running on a hamster wheel of depression. Some of us are running on a hamster wheel of lacking so many things. Some of us are running on a hamster wheel, and there's so many things that is running, that is driving it, the fear, the loneliness, the dysfunction, right? The anxiety, the depression is realizing what's driving the hamster wheel. And many of you are trying to slow it down. Slow it down. Many of you think that you're bound to that hamster wheel because you don't understand certain things you need to understand. Your mental programs are not only the main cause of the why you're not attracting. It is the very force that is driving it. At what point do you actually sit down with yourself and realize that you don't have another tear to cry because you've cried them all? Some of us have become so stuck, right? So overwhelmed, so lonely, and so bitter. Some of us don't have an ounce of vitality and energy left in us. Some of us don't have a fight left in us. The question is, do you deserve better or greater? Put a one in the comment section if you deserve greater. Put a one in the comment section if you deserve greater. You deserve more. You deserve better. Who told you that you didn't? Ashe Uma. At somewhere along the line, you have accepted some very negative. Nini, thank you so much. Jacqueline, I appreciate you. Somewhere along the line, you have accepted other people's narratives and philosophies of you. You have accepted and adopted other people's beliefs that don't work for you, hasn't worked for you, and still won't work for you. Realize the only one of the only ways among the other few that you are going to get off that hamster wheel is by you understanding that there are many faulty programs that are very strong in your life. Very strong in your life. Why do you think we keep running back to them? Why do you think we keep running back to it? You have so many speaking about emotional addictions that don't have a clue of what emotional, not pardon me, of what emotional intelligence is. And if they do, it's surface level. It's not penetrating where it needs to influence the change. How many times you going to keep on talking about it? How many times you going to keep on having the same conversations? It ain't working. It ain't helping. And what you don't know is that if you're not expanding, if you're not growing, you're self-destructing. It is a fact, indisputable fact. As living organisms, know who you are, your very essence. Know who you are. Remember who you are. You are not only physical. You are part mental, part spirit, and part physical. And the longer you keep feeding the physical, the longer you're going to disintegrate. The longer you're going to continually self-destruct. Do you understand me? If you're not evolving, elevating, you are self-destructing literally. Look up what happens to a plant when you do not feed it, or if you're feeding it poison. Look what happens. Look up the studies. There's been many studies that have been expressed and examined and shown. What happens when you starve something? What happens? Do you think you can continually starve your spirit and continually grow? Do you think you can continually take steps backward? Take steps backwards, and think you're going to move forward? Do you think you can continually keep repeating the same traumatic stories and overcome them at the same time? Do you think you could keep drinking poison and not be poisoned? Do you think you can continually accept people's poor behaviors without you sacrificing your very essence and your vitality? Shika, yeah, yeah. How do you fix what's broken? I'm teaching you now. The very first step into fixing what's broken is to realize it's broken. Be aware that it's broken. Make the decision that you want to repair it, and then learn how to repair it. Because you can look at a broken vase all day, every day. You can look at it and say, I want to fix this. I want to fix it. But how are you going to fix it if you never learn how to fix it? If you never learn organization skills, if you never learn how to put the pieces of the puzzle together, if you never learn what mental reprogramming is, how are you going to learn if you don't know that you need a bonding glue? How will you learn? Right? Again, what I'm teaching you, the 11 steps, is in the last book that I published. I'm his best-selling self-published author, Attracting What and Who You Desire. These are the 11 steps that I teach you with practical principles and application so you can learn how to. right? Chapter 2, we speak about awareness. I'm going to skip this chapter because I just spoke about this. You need to be aware. You need to fully accept where you are with your entire essence. Many of us speak about self-love. We speak about self-love. We hear people talking about self-love, but do you really understand what it means? Do you understand the vibrational gravity, right? Do you understand the core of what self-full love is, right? Self-full love, fully accepting yourself is the prerequisite for self full love. I'm talking about fully accepting yourself now in the present, your present, fully accepting how you are, where you are, at whatever level you are. Focusing on the now, not the past or not the future. Self-full love is loving you fully, loving your teeth, loving your smile, loving your lips, loving your hair. It doesn't mean that you love yourself any less if you use embellishments, but whatever, right? Whatever you adorn yourself with, love yourself without it. Love yourself without it. Heart and Solutions, infinite gratitude for the support in becoming a supporter of this channel. Infinite gratitude to you. And may the energy always return to you. Thank you so much. Self-full love, loving your entire being. Earlier, I spoke about we wanting change. We're wanting and desiring and desperately seeking to get off the hamster wheel, to stop running for other people, places, and things. Stop running in the same place. Stop exhausting yourself. Stop doing all of these things. We speak about it. We speak about attracting the love and the care and people with integrity, people that's going to hear us, understand us, people that's also going to enjoy and embrace us and accept us and want to evolve with us. How is that possible when you want these things, but you haven't fully accepted the fact? You still think, some of us still think that you're not deserving of that man or that woman because they may be more physically fit, because they may speak more eloquently, because they may dress a certain way or appear a certain way, because they may hustle a certain way. You haven't fully yet accepted yourself. If you have some things that you want to work on them. What's in your heart? What's in your heart? Right? How many of you understand what brain and heart coherence is? Or brain and heart incoherence? How many of you heard of that term? Ashe Sparkle, infinite gratitude for sharing the live. How many of you heard of this term, brain and heart coherence? Right? How many of you heard of this term? Come on now, let's talk, let's dialogue together, right? I'm gonna tell you what it is. In a nutshell, it's alignment. Many of us are in alignment for things that are toxic and unbeneficial. Many of us think when it comes to abundance, it's only related to more of the things, people, and places that you actually want. We think when we think of abundance, we think of more money. When we think of abundance, we think of more opportunities. When we think of abundance, we think of more freedoms and more liberties, right? What you don't know is that you're already operating in abundance. You're already operating in abundance. You just have an abundance of stress because that's what your heart is vibrating on, or that's the frequency of your heart, I should say, because vibration and frequency is different. Misconception. And I stand corrected as well. Vibration. You don't want to you don't want it to be like a roller coaster. This up long wave and up down. You want to keep that steady. You want to keep that in a natural rhythm and flow. You don't want to raise your vibration. You want to raise your frequency because your frequency is what's magnetizing, drawing into. And the issue is why we're not attracting what and who we desire, why we're still running on the hamster wheel of dysfunction, is because your heart and brain coherence is incoherent currently. They're not in alignment. In fact, they're warring against one another. They're warring just because you cannot visually reflect. Some of you say see. Just because you cannot physically see what's going on doesn't mean it's not going on. You want to know what's going on? Take an assessment of your reality. Take an assessment of your life. Just look at your reality. What's in it? Who's in it? Who's in it? What's in it? Your life. Because I can get what I can guarantee you is everything that you're living, your environment, right? All that is in your space, you've called them to you. You've called it to you. Nothing happens to you, it happens for you. Hi, Jungle Juices. Hi, my love. Mwah. Jazz, infinite gratitude for the support follow. How are you, beautiful? Understand that nothing happens to you, it happens for you. Everything happens for a divine reason, for divine purposes, not by luck, happenstance, or coincidence. When are you going to take control of your life? When you come into this realm, once you reach a maturity age, a maturity mental age, you're going to do two things. You are either going to be mastered or learn how to master self. Everything revolves around that. And a lot of us are being mastered by other people, places, and things, or we're being mastered by our past. And the longer it takes you to sit yourself down and say, you know what? I don't know all that I thought I knew. I need more. I need more information. I need new information. Beth, how are you, beautiful? How are you, beautiful soul? In order to have growth, yes, you need new information. You have to understand mental programming, mental reprogramming, deprogramming. It's the only way it works. And you do not mentally reprogram your dominant database simply by having the same conversations over and over again. You don't change your reality or recreate your reality or bring to fruition that and who you desire simply by speaking about it. I'm talking about speaking about what you want currently, who you want currently, right? There's a difference, right? There's a difference. Choose ye this day to get off the hamster wheel. Choose ye this day that you need to get off the hamster wheel. Understand that it's okay to not know what you don't know. This is why I'm here. This is why I have been consistently coming before you, giving you not only the years of external experience and information, right? I've been also sharing with you sacred divine wisdom. The very same sacred divine wisdom that you have within you. How many of you do not realize how powerful your DNA is? How many of you don't really understand how powerful the blood is that's running through your veins? It is trillions of information. Everything you need is within, but some of you are so damn scared to go within. You're running from your own shadow, thinking you can outrun it. You cannot separate yourself from yourself. There will always be both sides. There will be the light, the dark, the up, the down, the positive, the negative, the yin, the yang, the feminine, the masculine, the male, the female. There will always be duality and opposites. There will always be. The best thing you can do is learn what harmony is. It's not about dissolving. It's not about getting rid of. It's about aligning. It's about having control over it instead of it controlling you. So when I say many of you are still on that hamster wheel of emotional addictions because you don't really understand what emotions really are and how they keep you bound, how they keep you tied up. You don't really understand why you crave what you crave. Because most of us are just regurgitating information that we've heard. You haven't sat and studied. You're not doing the work. And so you keep getting more of the results that you don't want. And let me tell you something, it's crushing you. It's hurting you. It's breaking you. Ooh, it is literally causing many of you to transition prematurely because you're not getting it. And so many of us are choosing not to want to get it. Right? Why are you so comfortable speaking about your traumas the way you do? Why are you so comfortable with people disrespecting you the way they do? Why are you so comfortable arguing back and forth with walls that will never talk back? Why are you so comfortable with people misusing you and misguiding you? Why are you so comfortable following? Why are you so comfortable with someone always needing to drag you along? Why are you so comfortable being bound and enslaved? That was a very small portion of our ancestral lineage. Do you know who you are? Do you know the powerful line that you come from? Or do you think they just want to what? Harvest us just for the hell of it? Do you think they need your BLOOD just for the hell of it? Do you think they need to cipher your divine pure energy just for the hell of it? Why would anyone in their righteous mind want to continually be enslaved and captive? Why? Why? Remember who you are. I'm not just here to pump you up to make you feel good, even though that's a part of it. I'm speaking the divine truth. Remember who you are. You are a profound, phenomenal alchemist. Your ancestors are still powerful. You are a powerful being. You can literally make yourself sick by your thoughts, which means you can literally heal yourself with your thoughts. Do you think money is hard to earn or to get? Do you think good people are hard to attract? Do you think you are so unlovable? Do you not think that you are powerful? Do you not think that you are capable and able? Do you not think? Peace from a millionaire. How are you, lovely? It's time to remember who you are. It's time to accept the fact that that you have willingly or ignorantly chose to be deaf, dumb, blind, and docile. It's time to fully accept whether you like it or not, whether it feels good to you or not, that you are not making wise decisions for your life and you want to change that. It's time to fully accept that you're running on a hamster wheel that isn't serving you no longer. It's time to fully accept that you've been self loathing for too long, that you've been discrediting yourself for too long. It's time to get off the hamster wheel of you feeling that you are undeserving, unworthy, unqualified. It's time for you to accept that you've been doing yourself a disservice. It's time to fully accept that things need to change. It's time to fully accept that you're still here and you still have an opportunity. You're still above the ground and not beneath it. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You are above the ground. Some of y'all don't even realize how and to be grateful even of the mouth that you have, the voice that you have, and speaking the stupid shit that you speak. You can't even be grateful of that, let alone be optimistic. Still bitching and moaning and complaining about the food that you're eating or the food that you're not eating. We're still saying that this world is ugly, that the society is ugly. Can you imagine what can you imagine if the sun felt like many of us? If the sun was like, you know what? F this world, F the plants, F the animals, F the people, F the souls, F the food, F the crops. Can you imagine if the sun was like, fuck y'all? Y'all just disgruntled, disobedient, ungrateful people. Can you imagine if the sun was like, you, 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 you? Can you imagine if the sun rose one day and was like, I am so tired. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired of being slapped in my face. I'm tired of not being respected. Okay. I'm tired of people saying that I'm unworthy, that I'm not beautiful. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yet, that beautiful ball of powerful energy rises, continue to rise for you, for you, despite all of the foolishness, despite all of the people who doesn't honor it, despite all of the people who disregard and disrespect it, despite it continues to shine, it continues to give life. Do you really, is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? Who gave you the right? Who told you that you had the right? Who told you that you had the right to think you wasn't here for a reason? Who told you that you wasn't as beautiful as the flowers blossoming? Who told you that you wasn't worthy? Who told you that you wasn't needed? Who told you that you couldn't learn? Who told you that you just have to remain the way you? Who told you that you had to keep running on that hamster wheel? Who's telling you this? Who's telling you that you hit the wall? Who's telling you that you're unlovable? You're unworthy. Who's telling you that you will never be? Who's telling you this? And better yet, why have you accepted it? Why have you accepted it? The third key, and I know I'm not going to be able to get through all of the 11 keys. I'm doing my best. I am led by the spirit realm. I am led I will speak as I should. Ashe, giving honor to the universe, the infinite source of creation, and also giving honor to all of you, beautiful souls that are here. Ashe. We have to be masters of our own reality. Yes, Shika. Ashe. How many times are you going to go up? How many times are you going to speed date? How many times are you going to go up on panels and listen to people tell you how to get into a relationship, how to keep a relationship, how to be feminine, how to be masculine, how to be soft? How long are you going to keep listening? And not all of them. There are some people out there that's literally giving you pure, unadulterated, righteous information. However, at this current time, there aren't many. How many times are you going to keep on going on an all male panel, indirectly making yourself look a fool, saying things just to say it? How long are you going to be easily persuaded to keep having the same foolish conversations that is feeding the very same things that you no longer want to feed? How long are you going to keep listening and consuming information that is inaccurate or that is biased or that is surface level? How long are you going to continually be entertained by foolishness, unknowing, not knowing what is indirectly doing to you or how it's indirectly keeping you on the hamster wheel? And yet you don't even see. When I see, I don't mean with these reflectors. I mean see, inside, within, sense. Whew, desperate. Aren't you tired of being desperate? Just imagine the wheel, a hamster wheel, and imagine the all of the wheels, the barricades, right, on that hamster wheel, the cage. Just imagine every line being something that you no longer want, that you don't need, or you don't desire. Depression, anxiety, loneliness, desperateness, just desperate. When are you going to stop thinking that you can nuke your way into the reality that you want or the relationship that you want? How are you going to find him or her or to attract him or her when you have not become him or her? We still talking about getting off the hamster wheel. And one of those brackets could be the lonely wheel. One of the lonely wheels, one of the lonely brackets. Ah, how many of you know that aromatherapy is frequency, is heals, essential oils? It can help. It's sad too. It is really sad when I see so many women. When I see so many women going up on these panels, and I say this with all sincerity and respect. It really saddens me sometimes to see so many women, not only in the United States, around the world, going up on so many of these panels with men asking so many questions. What do a man want? What happens when I do this? How should I act or how should I respond? What do men find more attractive? Just telling these men how you're going to whatever you like, whatever you like. How long are you going to keep thinking so lowly of yourself? How long are you going to keep skipping the most crucial steps? How much money are you going to spend going to these dating functions and meet my wife, meet my husband functions? How long are you going to keep spinning a block? How long are you going to keep running on this hamster wheel? And you think something is going to change? Baby, you're going to keep on being disappointed. The same goes for men. I see y'all too. It's us. I'm talking about us. And how long? How are you going to attract anything or manifest anything if you haven't become it? You don't know the first thing about how to spell honor metaphorically. But you want someone to come and honor you. You want someone to come into your life and fully accept you. And you still haven't fully accepted yourself, right? How long? Infinite gratitude for the support file. Like, how long? When are you going to realize you cannot draw to you that which isn't within you? I'll say that again. How long is it going to take for you to understand you cannot draw to you that which isn't in you? You cannot. Let's use this analogy. I have a green dry eraser, a pink one, a black one, and a red one, right? When it comes time for me to write on my dry eraser board, when it comes time for me to doodle or draw, right? To write out my whatever it is, when it comes time for me, right? To do that which I plan to do. Let's say that what I plan to do is write down, let's say 10 affirmations, right? Right? And let's say I use the pink, I use the black, I use the green, and I use the red. But now I want one of those affirmations. I want one of those affirmations to be blue. I want one of those affirmations to be blue. Let me ask you a question. Do you think if I mix all of these colors, I'm going to get blue? Do you think if I mix, if I somehow pair what I have and it's just going to give me the color that I want? Do you think if I keep telling this black marker, listen, turn blue, turn blue, turn blue, turn blue, and it's going to automatically turn blue? Do you think I can keep saying, I'm gonna give this to you, right? I want to give this to you. No, exactly. If I want something, woo, if I want something, if I want blue, if I want the words, the letters to come out in blue, guess what? I got to go get for myself. Guess what? I got to go get blue. If I want blue, I have to go get blue. If I want to give blue, I have to have blue. So if I want someone with integrity, guess what? I got to have integrity. If I want someone with respect, I have to have respect. It has to be in me. If I want someone to fully accept me, guess what? I have to fully accept myself. If I want someone to desire me, guess what? I got to desire myself. If I want him or her to make me feel, to give me sexy, right? I got to feel sexy myself. If I want someone to appreciate me, guess what? I have to appreciate myself. If I want someone to be kind and compassionate, right? Understanding, right? I have to be those things to myself. You cannot give what you don't yet have. You cannot give what you don't yet have. And a lot of you want to keep on thinking that you can get what you do not currently have. The quickest way for you to manifest, attract, or to draw in whatever it is, whoever you want, the quickest way to get off that hamster wheel is to be aware and to understand, right, what's required. Because you keep consuming information that's not helpful to you, you may get off the hamster wheel for a second, but guess what? You're going to get right back on it. You're going to get right back on it because you do not yet understand what's keeping you bound on the hamster wheel. You do not understand the current addictions that you have. Pouring from an empty glass. Yes. How do you think you're going to keep giving and giving and giving and giving and giving without replenishing yourself? How? I've always taught my children when I was young. I have three, well, young men now, right? And a grandson. I always taught them. I need y'all to understand. Mommy loves y'all infinitely. And mommy will live with you. Mommy will live with you. Right? Mommy will be your inspiration and your motivation and your guide and your teacher and your mother. However, I need you to understand one thing. What's in Venus cup, right? And I say Venus because I am Venus before I am mommy. I am Venus before I am auntie. I'm Venus before I am an employee, an employer, a businesswoman. I am Venus before I am friend. I am Venus before I am family. So whatever is in Venus cup is for Venus first. What you get is the overflow. That's what you get. You don't get what's in Venus cup. What's in Venus cup is reserved for Venus. So when Venus feel like I'm low on patience, when Venus realizes that, hey, I'm low on forgiveness. Yes, I said forgiveness. When Venus feels like I'm low on tolerance, when Venus feel like I'm low, even with love, even with guidance, even with inspiration and motivation, then Venus knows, Venus have become aware through the self-mastery practices that I'm teaching you. Venus became aware and had to go through processes to realize that it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to be self-full. And it's also okay to be selfless. And wisdom tells me what one I need to be in order to make sure that Venus cup is full so I can keep giving, not from an empty place, from a full place. How can I keep giving you inspiration when Venus is low on inspiration? How can I keep giving you or say I'm going to give you patience and tolerance and love and care and desire and whatever it is from me if I'm low? I have to replenish my cup. And the best thing you can do is be a part of replenishing my cup. That's not being cocky. That's not being a little bold, but that's being raw and that's being real and that's being transparent. That's being transparent. And some of us have forgotten our identity. Some of us have gotten lost in the identities that we've been playing. We've got lost in the mother. We got lost in the identity of the father. We got lost in the identity of being the cousin, the grandma, the grandpa. We got lost in the identity of being the employer or the employee or being the entrepreneur or being the boss or being the educator or being all of these things. We got lost in the identity of being a hustler. We got lost in the identity of confusion. We got lost in the identity of being slave. And now it's like, oh, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? You can't even tell from what you came from to where you going. Identity. How can you give what you do not have? So it's okay to know when you need to replenish. If you say you truly love yourself, make sure you're full. Make sure you're giving from your overflow. If you truly can honestly say, and what I'm teaching you is to gain a deeper understanding of what self-full love is. How? How can you say you really love your spouse or your loved ones, your partner, your children, when you're choosing to continually keep emptying out your cup and not realizing that you need to replenish? Or do you think that giving half is enough? Do you think that being half fast is enough, or doing a half fast job is enough? Do you think you're not deserving? Better yet, how long do you think you can keep giving, giving without getting depleted or without being empty? Infinite gratitude. How long do you think that can keep wearing all of these different identities and not knowing which one you're wearing when you're wearing it? How long do you think you can keep giving people opportunity after opportunity? How long do you think you can continually starve yourself of information and education and pure love and God? How long do you think you can keep starving yourself? How long do you think someone can continually walk in the desert without coming upon some water, without the water of life? Because I tell you right now, many of y'all are walking around in the desert seeing mirages of water. And when you get there, it's more sand. So guess what? You're depleting, you're depleting, you're depleting. You're getting emptier and emptier. You're getting drier and drier. You're getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And you're not, meaning you're still on this hamster wheel. Ashe, you're still on the hamster wheel. You don't have to keep doing that to yourself, my loves. You don't have to keep doing that to yourself. Who are you? Who are you? You, outside of all of the accolades, outside of all of your accomplishments, whatever you've accomplished, baby. And I mean that. I mean that. Because many of y'all sacrifice a lot to get the accolades and to accomplish what you've accomplished. Be proud of that. However, who are you without it? Who are you without the degrees? Who are you without the money? Who are you without being a mother or being a father or being a, who are you without all of these things? You need to remember that. Re-identifying, redefining your identity is one of those steps to getting off that hamster wheel. Your identity is the unique characteristics that is used to identify you. And many of us are only identified by the money we have, the clothes we're wearing, the person we're with, the gift of gab, how we talk. Many of us are identified by people, places, and things that have nothing to do with the essence of who we are. Your true identity, you can't even see. Your true identity is not physical. Your true identity is not physical. Your true identity is a part of this world, but not of this world. Your true identity doesn't have a color, a shade. It doesn't have so much a verbal language or a dialect. Your true identity is the most profound and powerful aspect of who you are. And many of us need a reminder of that. Although the word can be used in different ways, in different contexts, on a personal level, your identity is a sense of what? Oneself. Sense of self. What is your sense of self? What is your self sensing? Be transparently honest with yourself. Live in our true essence of power of the mind and stand on business. Yes. Hi, Christopher. How are you, my love? Time to wake up. Yes, it's time. It's time. Know that you don't have to do it alone. I'm so sick of people saying it's loyalty over love. I'm so sick of people saying that you only have you can only depend on yourself. I'm so sick of people saying that there is them against the world. Don't you know the destruction that you're causing by speaking such stupidity, foolishness, and ignorance? Don't you realize that by now? Don't you know that you're still alone because you keep repeating the same rhetoric? It ain't you against the world, but it can be and it will be as long as you keep speaking foolishly. As long as you keep saying women can't trust each other. Guess what? You're going to keep attracting women who are untrustworthy. You're going to keep on attracting women who are going to keep doing you dirty. That's going to validate the foolishness that you already hold to that's so strong. If you keep saying that there are no beautiful people in the world, that this world is ugly, guess what your world is going to be? Ugly, 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 ugly. Right? Do you think people who have rediscovered their true identity and essence, do you think that the people who are full of self-love and self-compassion and self-actualization on a higher level, self-concept, their self-esteem is high, they have confidence, right? They're in loving relationships. How many of them people you find on TikTok or social media, or how many of these people? It's a lot less what you see, right? How many people do you find like that's on social media most of their day, if not all day? How many? Talking about you spiritual. When are you sitting with yourself? When are you meditating? When are you going within? When are you sensing self or having a self having when does your self have a sense? When are you going within? How much time are you taking for yourself? Peace, Vanita. Hey, twin. How can you say you risen and you doing the work and you rising and you're aware? And yeah, it's one thing to sound intellectual, baby. It's a whole nother thing to actually be intelligent. A whole entirely different thing. Like, when are you when are you when are you when are you going within? When are you actually doing the work? Because let me tell you something. If you think, or if you keep listening to people keep telling you and sharing, baby, listen, if you think you're going to change your external world without first changing your internal world, baby, if you think that's what's required, and you wondering why, let me tell you something. I've seen some of the most spiritually acclaimed individuals. I've seen and heard and witnessed so many people, proclaimed wise people, proclaimed intelligent people, proclaimed financially wealthy and success. So many of them. And guess what? Many of us know that what we're in the great time, space, and frequency of what the great unveiling, the great where everything is kind of sped up, right? And everything is in, like, everything is unveiled, that everybody's in the limelight, everything that was done in the dark is being exposed. How many how many of us are witnessing this right now? How many of us are witnessing the crushing and the downfall and the exposing of people who are doing some heinous, horrific things? How many of us are watching this? Like, it's literally all over the world. How many? How many people do you need to see to know that if you keep following suit, your time in turn is next? Infinite gratitude, my love. I hope you are doing amazing, lovely. Do you not think your time is coming? Do you think that you can continually be lost in your identity? Do you think you can keep running on a hamster wheel of self destruction, self loathing, self pity, right? Being trauma bound. Do you think you can keep running on this hamster wheel? Do you think you can keep right being unaware, uninformed? Do you think you can continue that path and there's no consequences? Are you that delusional? Every decision you make, every choice that you make. I said this analogy, I'm going to say it again, is like throwing a pebble in a pond. The pond is your life. Every decision, every thought you think is like throwing a pebble in the pond. There will be ripples. No one can escape the universal laws and principles, as above, so below. The law of cause and effect. What you give is what you receive. What you give is what you get. What you give, it will be returned to you, baby. Who you cross will cross you. How many of you think that you can keep running from or hide from universal laws and principles, baby? They don't. It doesn't care. It applies to us all. Where you think you going? If you think you can continually choose whether you know it or not, to not know, to not be informed, to not do something, to not do whatever it takes to get off the hamster wheel, do you not think consequences ain't going to hit you the same? Do you really think you're excluded? How long you going to keep playing with your life? How long you going to keep playing with the lives of your loved ones? How long do you think you can keep going and going and going and going and going and going without sitting down saying, hey, where am I going? Where's the destination? We can only be the change that we want to see in the world by starting to change from within. Ashe, Christopher. Yes, peace, Jazz, Cold Guy. What's up? How long do you think, like, aren't you worth it? Aren't you worth it? Like, come on. Do you think you can really keep hiding from yourself, deluding yourself? Do you really think you can continue this path? Do you really think you're not going to run out of breath? Or do you think, since you've been running on the same hamster wheel going nowhere fast for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and not think your time is not going to be up? Do you really want to transition like that? Do you really want to reach your completion on this realm like that with a full of regrets and I should have, would have, could have? Do you really want that for your life when you can have so much more? You can be so much more. Do you really think you can keep skipping steps without falling back to the same steps you skipped? Do you really think your legs that long? Baby, I know they say we can jump high, but how high do you think you can keep jumping over the most crucial steps it takes for your elevation? Do you think you can keep wearing the different masks, the many different masks that you're wearing? Do you think you can keep playing within the many different identities and not get lost? Is that what you keep thinking? Do you who are you? When was the last time you sat down and reassessed, right? Who you are? Outside of, remember, all the accolades and all the accomplishments. Having an identity can give you a sense of belonging. But when you have a false identity, you're more influenced to crave, to belong to unhealthy people, to be attached to unhealthy places. Right? It is important for your for your overall well-being, for your confidence. However, who are you? Do you really like yourself? Are you lying to yourself? It's time for us to be transparently honest with myself. And if you have to be like, you know what? Shit. If you got to have certain conversations with yourself at some point, have them. honest with yourself. Be transparent with yourself. Just keep it real. It's the most liberating feeling in the world to just keep it real with yourself, to live in your your truest self and your authenticity. Stop caring so much about people who don't agree with you. It's your life. You can create it and live it how you see fit. But so many of us are living life according to who and how people told us to. We're walking how they told us to walk. We're talking how they told us to talk. We're thinking how they told us to think. We're moving how they told us to move. We're driving how they told us to drive. We're dressing how they told us to dress. We're going against our very essence, our very things that make us unique. We're so busy trying to be like everybody else. Too many of us are sounding the same, looking the same, dressing the same, talking the same, thinking the same. Everything is the same. Blah, 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 blah. Bland, 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 bland. Be yourself. Accept be yourself. Whether people call that quirky, weird, just be true and genuine and just be righteous. But be yourself. Why are you going to destroy yourself continually trying to be like somebody else? Just because they are a millionaire don't mean you have to be one. Some of us been fighting and destroying ourselves to make an extra dollar. It's so pathetic. We are chasing the very same things that are destroying us. And money isn't evil. Money isn't evil. Prioritizing it is. Isn't your health? Shouldn't your health be a priority, top priority? Shouldn't your happiness and your joy and your bliss, shouldn't that be a priority? Shouldn't your mental wellness be a priority? Shouldn't your self-development and your growth, shouldn't that be a priority of yours? Everybody's purpose here in this realm, although there are many divine purposes for any design and tailored for each one of the beautiful souls that are here, you, me. Many of your divine purposes do not include you being a first generation millionaire, billionaire, thousandaire. Some of us, that's not our divine purpose. And the more you keep living in the unauthentic realm and sense of self, you're going to go backwards. Why do you keep fighting? Why do you keep fighting against the flow when the most natural thing is to flow with it and not against it? Godly goodness. You don't have to struggle like that. You don't have to struggle like that. It's okay. It's okay that you want to live minimalistically. It's okay that you don't want to keep up with the Joneses. It's okay that you don't want to be a fashionista. It's okay that you don't want to be an entrepreneur. Perhaps that's not one of your divine purposes. It's okay. What's not okay if you keep self-loathing and self-sabotaging and keep fighting against the current. What's okay is that you don't even know your truest identity. What's not okay is that you still choosing to keep running on this damn dysfunctional ass hamster wheel. My goodness, aren't you tired? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired? Yeah. Talk about tired, baby. Baby, you don't have to do that. You don't. Nivea, right? We don't need infinite gratitude for the support, but you don't have to do it, and it's okay. Rediscover your divine purposes. Rediscover your unique thumbprint. Rediscover your unique identity, your divine purposes. Be in alignment with that. Want to be in alignment with that. Because, baby, if you still fighting, if you still running, baby, it ain't it. It ain't it. That ain't them. That ain't it. Them ain't it. Them isn't it. Them is he ain't it. She ain't it. And sometimes you ain't it right now. Stop fighting against the current. Rediscovering your divine identity enables you to redefine what it is that you truly want, that you truly need, that you truly desire. Again, it's okay to want to elevate. It's okay to want whatever it is. It is absolutely okay. But if you do not yet understand these self mastery principles, you're going to stay on that hamster wheel. You do not know what you do not know, and that's okay. We're all going to be ignorant to a certain level. However, I want you to be transparently honest with yourself, because some of y'all are on the same damn level week after week, year after year. Same level, like, damn, you don't realize you still in the fifth grade of life? You still don't haven't realized that you haven't graduated yet? You still haven't realized and accepted that you're not moving forward? You still haven't realized and accepted the fact that you still running off of somebody else's hamster wheel of life? You still haven't realized that people, places, and things are mastering you instead of you mastering it? You still don't understand, still don't realize, and you still haven't made the choice? Still? I mean, damn. Yes. I say, Nivea, nothing happens to you. It happens for you. Nothing happens by coincidence, happenstance, or luck. It doesn't. You are here because you are divinely purposed to be here. The universe is talking to you. Your higher self is talking to you. I am no different from you. Every capability that I have, you have. Every power that I have within me, you have that power. It's just I've done the work. I've done the work. I did all of the things that I'm encouraging you to do right now. I'm reminding you, reminding you that it's time to elevate. It's time to get off the hamster wheel. It's time. It is time. You're not here just because you just was scrolling. You manifested this moment. You attracted this moment. With the help of the ancestors and the universe that says, you know what, baby, since you want change, and I know you currently don't know how to change or what's required, I'm going to put the solution in your face. I'm going to put the solution in your ears. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? How bad do you really want it? I mean, how bad do you really want it? That's the question with that. How bad do you really want it? Because if you don't want it that bad, baby, just keep being somebody parakeet. Just keep saying, I want it, I want it, I want it. I want love, I want love, I want love, I want love, I want respect, I want respect, I want respect, I want respect, okay? I want loyalty, I want loyalty, I want loyalty. Keep being a parakeet then and never flying. Keep being a parakeet, just chained and encaged. Just keep running. Just keep running on that hamster wheel. Baby, if that's the life that you want to live, baby. Okay? If that's the paddle that rolls your boat, roll, baby, roll. Because if that's what you want, good. I'm speaking about the people. I'm speaking to the men and women who are not only supposed to hear this message, but the men and women who finally, you know what? I'm done with this effing hamster wheel. It's time to get off. Not only do I deserve to get off of it, not only do I deserve more, deserve greater, want greater, need greater, desire greater, I'm willing to do what's required. I'm willing to take one step after the other. I'm willing to fully accept where I've been, where I am, with gratitude and grace. Listen, I'm willing to I'm willing to invest in myself now. I'm willing to connect with someone that can help guide me. Someone who is not unrighteously, unjustly attempting to manipulate me. Because there are many people out there like that. There are many people out there like that. Is it going to require something from you? Absolutely. 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 In all transparency, your ROI is going to depend on the I. Your ROI is going to depend on the I. What you invest. You don't get a return on what you haven't invested. So if you are not willing to, yes, invest your attention, if you're not willing to invest your energy, your time, if you're not willing to invest even finances, then expect the return that you've been getting. But if you want a different return, baby, you're going to have to know that you're going to have to invest. You're going to have to. We're not going to act like we're not living in this world. We're still living in this world. That's awareness, right? Your return on investment is going to determine what you invest. But when you have people out here with and I say this confidently, respectfully, and with a deep groundness, I am extremely confident and qualified to teach you what I'm teaching you. Extremely qualified. And guess what? I'm not out here trying to rob you. Is there an investment for personal mentorship? Yes. It's $35, $39. And I say that respectfully. I'm not out here trying to charge you 1,500 or two. I'm not. And it's no shame, no digs to the people that do. But that's not my get up. That's not my get up. My book club in which we explore and learn, right? We're covering the metaphysical principles right now, the Kabbalion, $13. I'm not out here ripping people off, and I come before you every Saturday, given my schedule and my endeavors to teach these classes to you, right? And I don't ever expect to receive what I haven't invested in. I've spent thousands of dollars in my self-development on mentors and coaches and books. Do you understand what I'm saying? You invest nothing, that's what you're gonna get in return. Mwah. Hi Sylvia, how are you, my love? You have to learn. In my Rise of a Goddess virtual mentor and academy, we're learning we do exercises. It's not just about learning, and like a lot of what I'm doing, we just go more in depth. We go over exercise, and I create all of my work. I put hours upon hours into my own research, and it's not just Google research, right? I do my own work. I conduct and read about studies. I educate myself. I'm a self-published author. I've written 3 books right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? I do my work. I do my own work. I put in the work. I do my own research. I don't use chat GPT to write my books, to create my presentations, to teach you what I'm teaching you. This comes from 15 plus years of me putting in the work, me practicing and implementing the work that I'm teaching you. This is ain't that I've been doing this. And I've always been genuine and sincere. No one that has ever worked with me can tell you that I was leading them unrighteously. No one can tell you that I've ever worked with or in my personal life can ever tell you that I was an unrighteous, mean person, that I didn't mean them no well, that I didn't give good guidance or wise. No one can tell you that. Not near one of them. They may not have agreed with everything that I said, but what they can't tell you is that I was an impure, unrighteous person or soul. That I intentionally misguided them to serve me or my needs. So when you draw into you genuine people, cultivate that. Cultivate that. I want to they I don't know what is it, some type of holiday coming up? I hear fireworks outside. It's nice. I want to show you this exercise. This is a profound, okay, not this one. This is a profound exercise, right? And it has been there has been many studies. I formulated this exercise, and I teach this to the girls in my virtual academy, and I'm going to share it with you, right? And for those of you who are interested in getting the ebook, click the link in my bio. It is $14.99, right? I'm not a salesperson. It's just, you never know who won it. If you're interested, click the link in my bio, and it's, I think, the first tab, attracting what and who you desire. It's an ebook. This exercise, right, is in the ebook. I just updated and included this exercise because it is a profound way that you can learn, that you can understand what's required, and for you to go within. This is called the attention assessment. Every person, object, thing, in place, or situation, right, in our familiar physical reality have a neurological connection. So when I was speaking about your dominant mental database that lies underneath the tip of the iceberg, which is not easily accessible just by you speaking affirmations, just by you simply wanting something, right? It is underneath this. Your dominant programs is in your subconscious, and it is not easily accessible by you vibrating on a conscious level, on the tip level. You have to go underneath, right? So this exercise helps you to understand and to go within, to reassess your dominant mental database, so you can, one, identify where the stronghold is, where the emotional bond is, where it was created, so you can now do something to reverse it or to reprogram it, or to, what I teach, cutting the cord to emotional attachments. This is the wheel, the attention assessment wheel. This is going to help you tremendously, right? These are 5 steps included in this exercise, right? And it has been taught. I've been very successful in teaching this method. And so I'm sharing it with you, but we're diving deeper into it, right? I work with the ladies that have chosen me to help them along their path. We go deeper into this one-on-one, right? So with their investment of $19 a month, the ladies that are in there, they also get a monthly one-on-one where we are able to go over these exercises on a personal level and as a group level, right? How many qualified, tested, and tried mentors, coaches can say that they offer all of these things to you? I don't know any profound coach or mentor. And do your own research. What I'm teaching you is nothing new. What I'm teaching you is nothing new. Understand that. I don't take credit for teaching what I'm teaching, as far as me claiming to be the inventor of it. I'm not doing that. I am just, and have been privy to, not only come across this information, but to study it, so I'm able to teach it. But things like this, These exercises I create. These are indisputable, scientifically proven practices, steps, and information that I teach you. And you also have me for 45 to 50-minute one-on-one personal session that is very tailored for you because I care more about you. I care about myself. I know what it's like to be deeply depressed. I know what it's like to want to give up. I know what it's like to feel hopeless. I know what it's like to not have inspiration. I know what it's like to not be encouraged. I know what it's like to feel alone. I know what it's like to be discombobulated. I know what it's like to be lost in the many different masks that I wore. I know what it's like to be incoherent. I know what all of those things are like, and I see many of you suffering. However, I'm not in the business of forcing. I flow. I don't force. Ashe. Oh, is it? Oh, you're right. Thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you, Danielle. Juneteenth. I'm like, okay, why they I hear the fireworks outside. They sound really, really pretty. I hear them. Thank you for letting me know. I knew it must have been something. Peace, Mr. Ford. How are you, love? Joy to the world. How are you, love? So listen, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to like get through all of the 11 steps because I don't like being on here longer than I anticipated, right? However, let me your behavior patterns, I'll just run through the rest. And again, I teach things like this in my virtual Rise of a Goddess Academy, which is exclusively for women. Okay. I love you. I love you, man. I love you. I love you. But okay, this is exclusively for women. So we go into depth about these things. How also, if you're interested, again, click the link in my bio. Everything that I'm showing you right now, well, you all can't see on TikTok because I have the presentation up on YT. Every Saturday, I give a self-mastery lesson. Saturday night mastery lesson. We do different lessons. I talk about emotions, the core and catalysts of them. I talk about behaviors. I talk about addictions, emotional addictions, that is. I talk about universal laws and principles. I talk about pattern recognition. I talk about behavioral analytics. I talk about relationships. I talk about I talk about attracting and manifesting and frequency alignment, energy. I talk about all of these different things. Every Saturday, I bring you a lesson, right? And if you apply these things, I'm telling you, it will definitely work. So we speak about behaviors, where your behaviors stem from. We speak about emotional connections, right? We speak about determination and reprogramming of the old programs that you're currently influenced by. Understand that every behavior pattern that you have a catalyst to it. It have a catalyst to it. There was a creation of that behavior, right? And because you have been in feeding it for years upon years, is now automatic. So you don't no longer have to think to do certain things. Your body just automatically does it. I always give this analogy. Think about a coffee drinker. Let's say I've been drinking coffee for 10 years, right? And one day, let's say the 10 years in one day. Let's say the day after the 10-year mark, I decide like, hey, I wake up one day, I rise and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to drink coffee no more. I don't like the sugar. I don't like the chemicals. I don't like what it's doing to me. I don't like constantly like going down, going like being hot and then going down. I don't like running back to it. Well, for whatever reason, I don't want to drink coffee no more, right? Because I've been drinking coffee for 10 years, because I've been indirectly feeding the mental program, right? That I formed and fed, that said, hey, we drink coffee, we drink coffee, we drink coffee. Just imagine repeating that every single day, hours on end. I drink coffee, I drink coffee, I drink coffee. what you feed will grow, what you starve will apparently, what you feed will gain power and what you starve will lose its power. I never like to use the word DIE because that's really not true. Okay, nothing ever DIES, nothing. Okay, is energy transfer. It's always transmutation. So back, transmutation of energy. So back to the coffee, right? Let's say that now I decided to not drink coffee after I've been feeding this thought, which influence my behavior now, coffee. The minute I decide to not get coffee, my mind and my body, one, the first thing that's going to happen, listen, my loves, the first thing that's going to happen when you decide to do something else that isn't currently familiar, that isn't a familiar program, mental program, your mind and your body is naturally going to reject it because it is unknown. It isn't able, your body and your mind isn't able to differentiate from your decision, right? Because your new decision, pardon me, because it's so used to the program decision, because that's so strong. All your body and mind knows how to do is to repel and fight against what it isn't familiar with, what is foreign to it. So you introducing this new thought, this new idea, and it may be a current idea, but it's not strong enough. This baby idea that, hey, I don't want to drink coffee anymore, right? Your body and your mind is going to be like, what? This? We've been drinking coffee for 10 years. Okay. It's, in matter of fact, it's 7 o'clock. It's 7 a.m. It's, where's my coffee? My coffee, where's the coffee? All you got to do is walk your ass into the kitchen, into the cabinet or the freezer. If you keep, get the coffee, prepare the coffee, and until you do, I'm gonna give you a headache. Until you do, I'm gonna give you some shakes. Until you do, I'm gonna make you go through withdrawal. Until you do, I'm gonna remind you, this is your body talking to you, your mind talking to you. I'm gonna remind you that you cannot just all of a sudden tell us after 10 years that we no longer want coffee anymore. After 10 years that we no longer want to live in toxicity no more. At 10 years, we've been watching toxicity. We've been watching television. We've been watching drama. We've been watching women fight against each other. We've been watching men after each other. Don't tell me that all of a sudden you're not watching the housewives of wherever. Don't tell me all of a sudden that we're not going to watch sports anymore. Don't tell me no longer that we're not going to go on social media looking for the next ratchet, dysfunctional conversation. Don't tell us that. You can't all of a sudden just want to change things now. Your body and your mind is going to naturally reject what isn't familiar to it. So reprogramming your dominant mental database is like getting a new puppy, and now you have to train that puppy. Or adopting a mature dog and have to retrain it. Either or. Either way. If you do not understand what I'm telling you, you're going to stay on that hamster wheel. You're going to stay going around and around and around and around and around. Periodically, you may get off of it. But 99.9% of the time, if you don't understand what I'm talking about as far as mental reprogramming, behavioral analysis, universal principles and laws, metaphysics, sciences, all of these different things, 99.9% of the time, you're going to willingly jump right back on that hamster wheel. Why? Because you've been doing it for so long. Your body and your mind is so programmed, is so used to doing it. That's all it knows. Because you don't really understand the things that I'm saying. You don't really understand that you can't just talk your way off the hamster. You just can't say, I want to get off this hamster wheel. I'm tired of running. Whew, I need some water. I don't want to run on this hamster wheel. I don't want to be mentally enslaved anymore. I don't want to chase money anymore. I don't want to argue and fight anymore. I don't want to live in toxicity no more. I don't want to live in poverty no more. I want to stop. Whew, whew, whew. Let's say you get off the hamster wheel for a second. You're like, whew, I finally caught a break. Right. I finally don't want to realize that, I don't have to live like this. And then that hamster wheel is going to be looking at you like, come on, come on. You want to ride again. You don't want to keep on running. You want it. And then you looking at it, it's looking at you. You looking at it, it's looking at you, and it's drawing you closer and closer. And the next thing you know, you running back on this hamster wheel. Tell me if I'm lying, baby, I'm flying. How many of y'all actually found yourself asking in the question, like, how the hell did I get here? How the hell did I get here? How did I get back here? How did I end up in the same situation? How did I end up with the same person, different suit? How did I end up full of everything I was full of before, after I disposed? How did I get here again? Many of us ask that question. That's why. That's why. Because what's dominant is always going to be the heavier influence, the heavier influencer. What's dominant is always going to be the heavier influencer. Can't fight something that you cannot see. You can't overcome something you're not willing to fully accept. It's literally impossible. You cannot change something unless you understand how to change it. And then understand what it looks like while applying the change. Pardon me, because many of us have the information. Shay Lovely. Many of us have the information. However, we lack the process of how to apply it. So we keep circling and circling and circling it. And it's like looking at a puzzle. Looking at a puzzle, just looking at it, staring at it, looking at it, staring at it. You're like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You don't know where to start. I mean, you got the gist of it. You know that the pieces need to fit perfectly. Some of us may know, like, okay, let me find. Some of us may know, like, we got to find the corner pieces first. Like, some of us know and some of us don't know. So you just keep looking at all of those 100 pieces, hundreds of pieces of puzzle. It's staring at you, you staring at it. And guess what? It's not being put together. It's not being put together. Or you start and you stop. You start and you stop. You start and you stop because you don't understand what's pulling you away from it. What's pulling you away from completing it? What's pulling you away from? Or what's pulling you back to the familiar? Ashe? So I mean, sometimes can I honestly say I'll be attempting, like, I'm gonna get through the whole the whole 11 steps. However, it is what it is. I do not like Russian. I don't practice Russian lessons. I do not. It's not a rush. It's not a race to me, right? It's not a race to me. Perhaps next Saturday we'll continue. But you know what? I'm not even going to say that. Retract respectfully, right? If you want, if you desire to have the steps that I'm teaching and go deeper into it, this is your answer. Get the ebook. It talks about everything in depth that what I'm teaching you. It breaks down all of these 11 steps, right? All of the 11 steps, it breaks it down. All of them. And if you ever ready to take it to the next step and get mentoring, just say the word. Reach out to me. Right? It's all up to you. It is all up to you. You choose how your reality is. You choose, right? Your experience. Stop allowing other people to choose your experience for you. Stop allowing other people, places, and things to master you, to master your life, to master your world. Stop being so distracted by distractions. They're put there for a reason, but no one is forcing you to be distracted by them. No one is forcing you to swallow anything that you don't want to eat. No one is forcing you to anything. This is what we have to realize. You're not a victim or the villa. You're not the victim. You're not a victim. You're the victor. You're not powerless. You're powerful. However, you have to understand that for yourself. You have to choose to operate in either or. You choose whether you want to be. I mean, I say you're not a victim, but however, the truth of it is you could want to be still be the victim. I used to willingly, like, I'm the victim, honey. There was a point in my life where I mastered being a victim. Woe is me. Oh my goodness, you don't know my story. My mother did this, my mother didn't do that, my father wasn't there, they abandoned me, the people left me. You don't understand. Nobody trusted me. You don't understand. I was, assaulted, and I'm listen, I get it. With all sincerity and compassion, I get it. But how long? How long are you gonna keep living in that mentality? How long are you gonna keep repeating those same stories? It happened. You don't have to remain bound by it, though. It's your choice to be bound by it. It's your choice to have it still control you. That's a choice that you're making. And the most transparent, honest thing you can do is to accept it. I did. I had to accept that. You know what, Venus? You listen. It came to me one day. I said, listen, I won't forget. This was months after I was sexually assaulted for the second time, right? And this also, I wrote about this in my first book, Recreating My Reality, right? It came to me clear as I can hear myself speaking right now. You can't be both the victim and the victor at the same time. I had to choose because I unknowingly started to use my traumatic experiences to my benefit. And I became a master at using them. I liked people feeling sorry for me. I liked people stroking me. I liked people petting me like I was a kitty cat. I love people peddling to my sorrows and my woes. I loved being the victim. It was satisfying. It was gratifying. It was easy. I didn't have to be responsible for my actions. I didn't have to be accountable. I can just blame it on my upbringing. I can blame it, and I did blame it on how I was parented. I was blaming it on the fact that I didn't have a father figure. I was blaming it on the type of situations, my environment. I was blaming it on my community. I was blaming it on the area I lived. I was blaming all of my woes, and I was blaming it on other people until I said, you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm going to say something very real and very transparent. It's a few of you here. I'm going to say something very real and very transparent, right? There was one point, and there were many hard pills I had to swallow, many undesirable truths I had to accept. And I'm going to share one of them with you, as I am always extremely transparent. And I hope that it helps some of you. And I hope that you don't misunderstand and misinterpret what I'm about to say. I hope that you are mature enough to understand what I'm about to say. The second time I was sexually assaulted, I was in the world of exotic dancing, right? Many of you understand. I was in the world of exotic dancing. That was my life. That was my world. And for many of you who were in that world too, for many of you who were a part of that world, even if you wasn't an exotic dancer yourself, you know the type of environment that comes with it. There were substances, and I'm gonna speak in words that is not triggering to the algorithm. I was engaging with substances that were not good for me. Do you understand? Substances that put me in an incoherent state. Substances and spirits, right? That made me what I was unaware of, that made me more susceptible to the spirit realm, that also made me a target for predators, abusers. I was in this world. And one of the reasons, one of the methods that I was using to be in that world, but not of that world, to function at my highest potential in that world, I was using these substances. I trusted I trusted men that I should never have trusted if I was more in tune with my intuition and intuition and spirituality, if I was coherent in my thinking. But because I was always heavily influenced, I wasn't in my right mind. I wasn't thinking about safety. I wasn't thinking about using caution and intelligence and wisdom because it became so familiar. I became so dull to certain things. My awareness was at an all-time low. Making a short story, a long story short, I ended up in a situation to where I was sexually assaulted by two men. Did I deserve it? Absolutely not. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Did I deserve it? Absolutely not. I'm talking about me. I'm using myself. Did I deserve it? Absolutely not. No one do. Was I a part of drawing those things to me, that circumstance to me? Yes. This is where I had to swallow the undesirable truth of the part that I played, the parts that I played, along with the parts that everybody who was involved played. Taking true accountability and responsibility for your life and the decisions that you make, right, is important. That's mastery. It's the beginning of mastery. I had to be responsible that, hey, Venus, nobody forced you in this field of work. Nobody ever forced me to drink as much as I did that night. No one ever forced me to inhale inhale the substances. No one forced me to trust in those men that I should have never trusted in. No one forced me to do the things that I did. No one forced me to put myself in. No one forced me. I had to accept that I played a part in putting myself in that environment, that experience. I had to be responsible and accountable, right? I didn't want to play the victim no more. I didn't want to be a victim no more. Because how can I walk with my head held high, prostrate, having confidence and feel secure and feel beautiful? How can I walk in that if I'm hunched over with my head down? In fear that if I stand up straight, what are they going to think? They're not going to stroke me anymore. They're not going to validate my insecurities anymore. I can't, woe is me no more. I can't just drop these crocodile tears no more. No one is going to run to my rescue no more. I can't cry wolf no more. I can't be the damsel in distress no more if I'm not hunched over, walking over slump, like walking. I had to pretend. I was tired of being confident. I was tired of being a queen behind closed doors. I was tired of being secure and confident only in the mirror, and only had to switch identities as soon as I stepped foot out the door, because no one can ever know that I have confidence. No one can ever know that I'm the victor and not the victim. No one can ever know that I'm accountable and responsible. No one can ever know that I'm able to make decisions on my own. No one can ever know that I'm secure. No one can ever know that I'm able, mentally capable. They can't know that. And I got tired of playing them games. I got tired of pretending that wasn't me. But not, I learned later on that every decision that I made, baby, it had consequences. Consequences. So the longer you keep making decisions to stay on that hamster wheel, baby, the deeper and deeper in the hole you go, and the more effort you're going to have to put in to climb out of it. Every decision you make to stay on that hamster wheel, the deeper you go. The deeper you go. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? The deeper you go, the quote unquote harder it's going to get. Right? And a lot of y'all have fallen past the length of the rope that you're holding on to. Let's say that again. A lot of y'all have fallen so deep in the hole, way past the rope that you were holding on to. So the rope ain't thin no more. Some of us ain't hanging by a thread. There is no more thread. There is no more rope. Genesis, how are you, my love? Barbara, yes, accountability. No one can do no more to you than you let Ashe. I wrote about that story in my book. That was the transparent truth I had to accept. If I was never inhaling those substances like it was no tomorrow, if I was never dousing and drowning myself in those spirits like it was no tomorrow, if I was never in that situation, or perhaps even if I was in that situation but had a coherent mind, I would have seen that joker coming a mile away to manipulate me. I should have known that joker was coming every night, not to just be my friend, but plotting on me. Plotting on me, playing on my desperateness and my love of the dollar. Okay? I would have noticed it a mile away. Come out of that. Get off that hamster wheel, because it's going to continually lead y'all in situations that your mind, your body, and your soul ain't going to be able to catch. Stop while you're ahead. It's my encouragement to you. Stop while you're ahead. This message haven't come to you just for it to come to you, because I know it's resonated with each and every one of you in some way, shape, or form. Ashe? Ashe? We have to know it. So listen, give me a second. TikTok. For my YT family, this concludes this Saturday night master lesson. I hope you've enjoyed it. Infinite gratitude, peace, love, and infinite enlightenment. I will see you all next Saturday.